and your family love and light this holiday season.
Live from Augusta, you're watching News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Shards of glass and broken car parts left at the scene of a deadly Christmas Eve crash. Next on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we have new details on the pedestrian death that involved a sheriff's office employee. But first tonight, a family hoping for a Christmas miracle, now stricken with grief. Over the weekend, a missing persons case quickly turned to a murder investigation for Jamila Smith. Investigators and her family are hoping to find and bring Jamila's body home. Just days away from the new year, and now another holiday without Jamila. Her family's struggling with the grief. Hallie Turner joins us live in the newsroom.
Well, investigator Chandra Cleveland tells me the call Jamila's family was hoping would bring relief and comfort has now brought on silence, grief, and a new fight. It's been nearly a month since Jamila Smith vanished from her home right here off Old Jackson Highway. Private investigator Chandra Cleveland says the Smith family has been patiently waiting on a call that would bring comfort. But when the phone rang 2 days before Christmas,
silence. It was silence for a while.
On the other line, Aiken County informed the family they have enough evidence to charge Millie's ex-boyfriend Daniel Harmon with her murder. Cleveland says her mother Tina, unable to form words, remains in shock.
This is going to be the hardest time she ever had to deal with. And, Millie's children are asking for her.
Life as anyone knew it forever changed.
Even harder when kids have to be split up and they're used to being with their mom. They're used to getting things all together and being together. And now they have been separated because of an act of crime such as this murder.
While investigators are not sure where her body could be, Cleveland says she does know one thing.
Even the case is not closed. I don't want anybody to think by any stretch of imagination the case is closed. So if you find out anything or you hear anything, please reach out to me. Let me know what you have so we can follow up.
Now, investigator Cleveland says the family is grateful for all of the community support that they have been receiving, and the best thing you can do, if you see something, say something, because they just want their daughter home.
A sad ending to that story all the way around, Hallie. Thank you. Turning to weather now as we take a live look over Grovetown. Riley says we should expect some cold and breezy weather ahead.
Definitely so, Laura. We saw high temps today get close to 6.
Newly released dashcam video raising questions on the moments leading up to a fiery trooper crash after a high-speed chase. And as you can see, it ended after crashing into our sign. New data released by the federal government strongly urges law enforcement agencies to reduce high-speed chases due to the jump in deadly numbers they've seen. Our Will Rio joins us live in the studio with the breakdown.
A newly released report by the U.S. Department of Justice over the summer suggests pursuits should only take place when an officer is aware a violent crime has been committed or when the suspect poses an imminent threat to commit another violent crime. According to annual reports produced by the Georgia Department of Public Safety, which oversees GSP, they say that pursuits like the one we saw end right here at our doorstep have increased over the past 5 years. Looking at the black and battered blue patrol car, you'd think someone was seriously injured. But the Georgia State Patrol trooper walked away with only minor injuries after crashing during a high-speed chase. It started on a late evening shift on one of Augusta's busiest roads. On Washington Road, he spotted a Mustang traveling 81 miles per hour in a 45 miles per hour zone. Trooper Crow tries to do a U-turn, but is stopped by another car. By the time he's able to do a U-turn, the Mustang is already out of sight. The chase continues onto Alexander Drive, and Trooper Crow picks up his speed. He weaves around several cars and barrels through a red light on Riverwatch Parkway. Trooper Crow starts to lose control of his car before hitting the median, going over 2 lanes of oncoming traffic, and then hitting our News 12 sign. Trooper Crow is able to get out and call for help.
944, 1050, 1050. All good, all good. I'm up walking, got a nosebleed. Car's totaled.
The vehicle burst into flames as backup arrives. Georgia State Patrol's current pursuit policy is discretionary and mostly lets troopers decide when to launch a high-speed chase. Georgia law states officers should consider several factors when pursuing a chase, including the nature of the offense committed by the suspect and the potential danger to the public if the suspect is not immediately apprehended. In the general pursuit procedures, the law permits troopers to speed and disregard traffic signals only if the officer exercises due regard for the safety of all persons. In the dashcam video, Trooper Crow appears to barrel through a red light while losing control of his vehicle. The manual also says a pursuit should be terminated if the officer feels the risk outweighs the danger of the suspect escaping, and officers should stop the chase if the vehicle's location is no longer definitely known. And according to Georgia Post records, Trooper Crow joined the Georgia State Patrol in late August of 2021. His training records show in 2023 he had 4 hours of pit maneuver training, and in 2022 he had 4 hours of pursuit liability and due regard.
All right, thanks for looking into that for us, Will. The man wanted in connection to a deadly Christmas Eve shooting has been arrested. 34-year-old Tony Muldrow of Effingham was taken into custody this morning in Florence County. The deadly shooting took the life of 29-year-old Rondre Gamillion. According to the Aiken County Sheriff's Office, Muldrow is being held in the Florence County Jail until he's transferred back to Aiken County. Just hours ago, we uncovered new details on the deadly Christmas Day crash involving a Richmond County deputy's patrol car and a pedestrian. 43-year-old Shawnquay Hester is the latest life to be taken by a vehicle this year. That deadly crash happened at Meadowbrook Drive and Bullock Avenue. That's where our Sydney Hood joins us live. So, Sydney, what have you learned about this case?
Well, this crash report we requested from GSP tells us there was a third person involved in this accident. Hester was walking with a woman on the sidewalk behind me on Meadowbrook Drive, and then within a matter of seconds, Hester was hit by the deputy's car, and then both Hester and his companion both fell to the ground. Pieces of what appear to be parts missing from a car are scattered on Meadowbrook Drive. Now, what type of car these bits came from, it's kind of hard to tell, but if you look closer at this picture, you can see it's the Ford logo. This crash report we requested from GSP says a Ford Explorer hit 43-year-old Shawnquay Hester. The vehicle belonged to the city, and the driver was Kenneth McCormick, a longtime veteran with the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. According to these documents from Post, he started working with the Sheriff's Office more than 25 years ago. This is a photo of him being honored for 20 years of work. McCormick was driving south on Meadowbrook Drive when Hester stepped into the road. The crash report says Hester was walking on the shoulder and a woman was beside him on the sidewalk. It adds when Hester stepped out, McCormick could not stop in time, and when Hester was hit, he was pushed into the person he was walking with, and then they both fell down an embankment, which happened to be in the front yard of neighbors who live here. The crash is still being investigated by GSP, and so far no charges have been made.
All right, thanks for tracking us and keeping us updated on that, Sydney. With branches and roots hundreds of years old, next on One Tank Trips, we take you to South Carolina, where one tree is drawing in thousands every year.
And we're looking to bring back very cold and breezy conditions over the next couple of days, and then by New Year's Day, we could see a few showers. We'll have the full forecast just after the break. But just make sure you're keeping it here for those updates the next few days as we do fine-tune those rain chances on Monday. Quick look at the 7-day forecast. For the next 7 days, our temperatures look to stay below 60 degrees, so it is looking like a cold start to 2024.
It's a tree that predates the founding of the United States. One tree near Charleston brings in hundreds of thousands of visitors every year. Our Will Bold takes us to the Angel Oak Tree for this week's One Tank Trip.
People love coming here.
I'm here about 200 days a year.
Frank the Loach sets up his easel near the tree all the time and paints pictures of it.
Small one is good if you have young
He meets a
children.
lot of new people every day.
It's like working in the airport. I love it. I love it. It's very stimulating. I talk to people about art and dinosaurs and all kinds of stuff all day long.
Every year, more than 400,000 people visit the Angel Oak Tree. Estimates say it's between 400 and 500 years old. It's hard to put in perspective just how big this tree is until you see it for yourself. Its branches go out way past the trunk, which itself has a circumference of 28 feet. The tree is more than 60 feet tall.
I remember like 1954 being here with my cousins from Jacksonville, and I can remember we stayed here and slept in our sleeping bags under the tree.
Deloach has been coming back ever since, and over the last couple decades, he's turned these paintings into a job.
I never planned on it being quite this successful. I've been doing it 23 years, and these are very popular, these big paintings.
Popular paintings of one popular tree. On Johns Island, Will Volk, on your side.
And it's free to visit the Angel Oak. Again, that's on Johns Island, a little more than 10 miles away from downtown Charleston. We're less than 2 days from kickoff of the Orange Bowl. Sports director Dan Booth on the road to Miami with the Dogs.
Call attorney John Foy and Associates right now.
Road to Miami. Sponsored by Jim Hudson Automotive Group.
Kickoff between Georgia and Florida State is less than 48 hours away. Dan and Alyssa are traveling down to South Florida as we speak, and they're joining us live from their car. Dan, looks like a trip with Nick. You're not allowed to stop, to pull over, even to talk to us?
You know, and the closer that we keep getting to Miami, we are currently on the road on I-95 going down. We took a quick stop in Jacksonville. We passed Palm Beach, dodging rain showers on and off because, you know, when you're in Florida, that tends to happen a little bit, which clearly means that we are close to our destination, which is Miami, to see what the Dogs can do against Florida State on Saturday. Now, when it comes to this game, this is the final game of the season for both of these teams, trying to find a way to get the job done. With many of the coaches and players speaking to reporters this week, they emphasized the importance of finishing the season with a big win, especially coming off of that SEC championship loss. Now, between the two national championships that recently snapped 29-game winning streak, the Dogs have been having an unprecedented level of success in recent years. And of course, you can't do that unless you ball out when it matters most, stay in the moment, stick to your fundamentals, and get the job done in big games.
I think if you have to give some special message in that moment, then you didn't go through your offseason the right way. You know, like we talk about our team DNA traits all the time, and we talk about, you know, being connected and having toughness and resiliency and composure. And if that's really a part of who you are, then in those moments, that's what you pull on.
Now, with a couple of days to go until the big game here, Georgia's currently 20-point favorites heading into this game. And obviously, you got to go out there and you got to play the downs to see who's going to win. But 20-point favorites, that says a lot about how people feel about Georgia and Florida State currently heading into this game. Now, in addition to all of tonight's coverage, we're going to have live coverage from Miami tomorrow leading up to this big game between these two teams. And then we're going to have post-game coverage on Saturday to wrap it all up and tell everybody what happened in this bowl game. But for now, reporting from I-95 South, driving down to South Beach, Dan Booth on your side.
All right, looking forward to all that coverage. You guys have safe travels. With just 3 days left to go until 2024, time quickly running out to save the Family Counseling Center. The center is the only place in the CSRA that offers mental health assistance, no matter your ability to pay for services. Arnique Veland has more on their final call to action.
We're tired. They're tired. They're tired.
It's a fight for donations to keep the Family Counseling Center standing.
We don't have much left in us. I think at this point our therapists are burned out. I think our therapists are tired. They have been in it with me for the long haul, but we're in a new year. None of us can stay in this period of we just don't know what's going to happen.
Surviving one day at a time. A goal of $80,000 will get them through next year. And entering 2024, they're $8,000 in the hole. They're depending on donations because the center hasn't been able to receive grants.
I think we have over 700 nonprofits here in Augusta. Those nonprofits are all vying for the same funding, the same sources.
Keys believes that mental health should have more of a priority.
Trauma and poverty are the real roots of mental illness, and those are the real roots of all those other priorities that we talk about: homelessness, incarceration, unemployment, COVID, isolation.
And now, as more people are opening up about their mental health well-being, resources are becoming hard to get.
I don't want people to not have a place to go.
And that's why the center fights to stay open.
And we're not giving up just because we are going to look different this year. And there's definitely going to be some probably reductions in what we're doing. The goal is that we come back stronger and better than we ever have been.
And Augusta, Nick Veland on your side.
And they'll have more information on what that new look will look like coming soon. They have a deadline to meet early in 2024 as they look to remain serving in a smaller capacity. But if you want to help them out, we'll have a link to do that on our website. Cheers to the new year and cheers to 50 years. Villa Europa getting ready for their final toast in their current building. The family-owned restaurant has been open since 1974, dishing up German, Italian, and American favorites. Villa Europa says they own their current property, but over time, maintenance has become an issue since the building's aged. Now they're welcoming everyone for one final toast on New Year's Eve. Their manager says they're not saying goodbye, just see you later.
If things work out with a new location just a few miles that way, then possibly in the future dates something, a satellite location.
And also, happy birthday to one of the owners. It's Peggy's mother's birthday. She's turning 86, and she was even in the kitchen cooking today. If you'd like some more information about their New Year's Eve celebration, you can head to their Facebook page. We have a check of your weather coming right up after this break.
From our family to yours, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Toyotathon is up.
Hello 2024. The Rooms to Go New Year sale is here. Say hello style, hello comfort, hello savings. Shop online or in store and start the new year off right with amazing sale prices that make anything possible. Let's celebrate. Let's decorate. The Rooms to Go New Year sale is going on now.
Toyotathon is up.
All right, folks, if you're stepping out tonight, we are expecting cold conditions, and we are going to see that wind pick up heading into our Friday. Likely going to see wind gusts close to 25, maybe even close to 30 miles an hour at times throughout our Friday afternoon. It is going to be breezy, cold. That will stick around through our Saturday. You can see the wind not necessarily too calm either Saturday afternoon. Just a little bit less of those gusty conditions. Should still see them over 20 miles an hour at times. We are going to see these temperatures stay below average through the weekend, but for New Year's Day, you're going to have to monitor that threat for a few showers.
All right, we have more news coming at you at 7 o'clock over on News 26.
TV News, we focus on solutions, finding solutions to help people understand what are the right choices to make for you and your family.